Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort,
Go, you drip.
snort, snort,
I got the drip. Go.
snort, snort, snort,
Go, you drip.
snort, snort,
I got the drip. Go. Damn, I got the drip. Go. I got the tips. Go. Damn, I got the drip. Go. I got the tips. Go.
Now that we got through all of that, what I'd like to talk about a little bit is the upcoming Christmas marathon and two things for it. First thing is holiday liquors and or what kind of liquor do you think of when you think Christmas and that you think something that I should drink for the Christmas marathon. Now, to give you some examples of things that I've had in the past, number one thing that I think I've drank the most during the Christmas marathon is eggnog, all right? And I'm talking alcoholic eggnog. But I'm going to be honest with you. I've had eggnog every year for like 4 or 5 years, and it gets tiring because the eggnog, quite frankly, you feel like it for Christmas. If you don't drink it by Christmas, you don't want it anymore. And it sits in my fridge all year, like, oh shit. And then finally I end up drinking it in like August because I'm like, I want to get this out of here, you know. And the thing about eggnog, it's very thick. It is full of sugar and calories. And quite frankly, you can't drink that much of it. You end up feeling like you drank double milkshakes, right? So I think this year, even though I have it every year, I think it's a cinnamon rice milk. Oh. So it's a creamy rice milk, and I'm assuming this one would be alcoholic, and they're having peppermint flavor in it. Huh. Like, interesting. That might be different. I might not like it, but at least I'm trying something different. All right, that's a possibility. So another thing that I used to get, but I haven't been able to find, I've been looking for like 2 years. They used to have this mint flavored whiskey, and I think it was called like Winter's Bone or something like that, where it showed that like a big blue faced cloud blowing like cold air, and like it would show snowflakes. So I used to get this, and I loved it. I thought it was very refreshing to have like a minty whiskey. You could take shots of it and stuff, or have it over ice on the rocks. But I haven't seen it in several years, and I don't know if they just don't make it anymore or if they just don't have it in my local liquor stores anymore. But, you know, what I would say is last year, I tried to get something that was supposed to be cinnamon apple whiskey, and it was not cinnamon apple. It was basically just cinnamon. And it was disappointing because when I think cinnamon, I don't think necessarily Christmas for just cinnamon, you know. You think cinnamon apple, that sounds like cider. And cider's kind of like a fall winter beverage. So you think that could have been good. But really it didn't taste like apples at all. So I was actually really disappointed with that. You can make white Russians with chocolate liqueur. It's very Christmassy and high quality. Drink some white Russians. They're the best. All right, hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. I will take a look here. Let's look for a recipe for a white Russian. White Russian recipe. It looks cool. It certainly looks really cool. 2 parts vodka, 1 part coffee liqueur, and 1 part cream. Mix the vodka and coffee liqueur, add the ice, pour in the cream on top. Huh. And then there's a Kahlua that's a white Russian flavor. Kahlua vodka and heavy cream. So in this case, they're doing Kahlua as their coffee liqueur. See that? Yeah. Now, you use any vodka. I'd get El Cheapo vodka if I was going to do that. I guess the stupid thing is the heavy cream, right? It's a lot of heavy creams, a lot of calories. I wonder how much you put in there. It's a Big Lebowski classic. What does the dude put in his white Russian? The dude getting the ingredients for a white Russian in the Big Lebowski. Mix together whole milk, cold brew coffee, Luxardo Sambuca, vodka, and St. George's coffee liqueur, and garnish it with a cocoa powder. What? Jesus. Are you... That sounds overly complicated. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. All right. So what I would say, all right, here's what we'll do. Since you guys are recommending the White Russian, all right, what I will do is I'll leave this open on my phone, and when I go out tomorrow, I'll see if I can actually like find the ingredients for a white. I'll just see like what they have at the liquor store, put it together. So some kind of a coffee liqueur, it could be Kahlua or something else, some kind of vodka, right? And I guess some cream. So I'd have to buy some cream to put in it. Because I think all we have is flavored coffee creamer. I don't want that. I think I really like a hazelnut coffee creamer. I don't think you want that. You want like a just standard cream in it, right? So, excuse me. That's interesting. I have to imagine you trying to make this on stream and spilling it all over the place. Like, yeah, it's a good idea. Trying to make mixed drinks here in the office with all my equipment. It sounds like a really holiday themed disaster waiting to happen. Okay. All right, anyway, all right. So that's a good suggestion. So I think the horchata, if they have it, we'll try that. I'll have to see if I can get the ingredients to make a White Russian. All right. Now, what else? How about this? Anything like a hard liquor that you guys think of when you think of the holidays? Is there anything that you guys would traditionally drink around this time of year? Because I was thinking, is there something that I could maybe do some shots of? Like we could have an incentive on playing a game and either like we hit a certain level of support on the stream or whatever, then I'll take a shot. But what would it be, right? I've done whiskey before, but the thing is, I wouldn't want to do just like maybe plain whiskey. We could find like a flavored whiskey or something like that. Wine? Man, I'm not a huge fan of wine. I'm just being honest. I'm just not. I don't see myself sipping wine all day. I also don't see really it having much of an effect. Just being honest. Like in my lifetime, you know, I used to drink so heavily, and being honest, this is back in my days when I used to drink like crazy, like an asshole, all right? I used to drink so heavily that when I drink, like I told you guys, okay, what I was doing for the first few years that we were doing this event is that I would buy a bunch of holiday-themed beer, right? We had these different flavored ales. There's like a chocolate ale, you know, a winter's ale. We had one that was called Santa's Butt. Do you remember that? And I would buy like 5 or 6 of these. I'd actually purposely buy all these different ones, and then I would be switching between them and drinking them all day. I would get a little bit of a buzz, but not that much. And what would end up happening is it would kill my guts. Like you're drinking that much beer. What happens is you just get bloated. You're full of calories, right? And you don't feel good. Just admittedly, you just don't, you know? And again, I think that's because I have a very high tolerance at this point because I used to drink so much that it takes a bit. Like if I have 1 or 2 shots, I'll get a buzz. But if I'm drinking a beer, I barely feel anything. And the beer is an equivalent of a shot. It probably take many beers. By the time I'm getting a buzz from beer, I don't really feel good anymore. I'm like, oh, I drank so many. I feel bloated and gross, you know? So that's why I kind of want to stay away from doing beer this year, because I think I would rather have stuff that I can drink over the course of the day and not feel bloated and gross, right? Glögg. Drawing things, we have something called Glögg in Sweden. Mulled wine. It's a mulled style wine. Glögg. Oh my God. I've never had cognac. Isn't cognac incredibly expensive? I could be wrong. I've never had it. But that just, it seems to me like cognac is just very expensive. No? You know, it's one thing to say I want to drink during the holiday marathon. It's the other thing to say I want to spend $400, you know, on liquor for the holiday marathon. I don't think I want to be going that crazy. Hennessy. I've never had, you know what? I've never had Hennessy. I've seen it a million times in stores and stuff and bars, and I've never had Hennessy once. Some spiced rum. Captain Morgan does gingerbread rum. Really? Gingerbread rum. We make something in Newfoundland called slush. A bunch of vodka and syrup in the freezer. It's sick. Ugh, I don't know about that. See, Randy Disher says, what about Bailey's? Well, if we're already doing a horchata and we're also doing a White Russian, I don't think we want to do something with even more cream. I think we'll stay away from another creamy drink. Have I ever tried sake? I have, but it was many years ago. I tried it like straight up and I hated it. I've had sake in recipes. Like my wife was, for a long time, was making these Japanese style beef bowls, and sake was one of the ingredients you would actually fry up the meat in. And it tastes really good with the meat. But I haven't had like straight up sake in a very long time. Maybe some sake? Would that be interesting? Just for the sake of trying, because I haven't had it in a million years. Maker's Mark. Isn't Maker's Mark also expensive? It's whiskey, right? Isn't Maker's Mark whiskey? Isn't it pricey whiskey? Drawing things, does he think I would like glog? Well, the thing is, I don't even know if they have glog here. You know what I mean? You're talking about something from the Netherlands or whatever. Or you said Sweden. I don't know if they would have that here. I have to look into it. If you do have sake, would you want chilled or warm? I mean, how could I... The way I say it would have to be chilled. How am I going to have warm sake? I can't boil it and bring it in here. I'd have to have over ice or whatever, right? It's all about the right type of sake? Oh, really? Sake is a drink to be sipped and savored. So... I got some ideas. So you guys are saying some kind of sake. You guys are saying the ingredients for a White Russian. We'll probably try that horchata. And I'll see what else I can find. All right? Ideally, what I want to do is I do want to find something that maybe I could do a shot or two of. So that way, but we'll do some kind of like, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to think of it this way. I can't do a million shots. I'll get drunk as shit. I'll get sick. Okay? So maybe every milestone we hit of support, right? Like every $100 raised on the marathon, I do a shot, but I'll be drinking in between. Like I'll be having the horchata, I'll be having a White Russian, and then if we hit $100, oh guys, time for a shot, right? I mean, do something, whoop, do a shot, right, and go from there. But the whole point is I have to slow down if I start getting sick or I start getting way too drunk. All right, I'm not gonna be falling on my face. Okay.
I got the drip go. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.